Androgen insensitivity syndrome, or AIS, is caused by a genetic defect of the androgen receptor that detects testosterone in the body. Without a functioning androgen receptor, sexual differentiation during development is altered, and genetically male humans develop as phenotypic females with no reproductive functioning.
Now, what happens in this genetic defect of androgen insensitivity syndrome is that the receptor for testosterone is not functional. So testosterone won't bind to the receptor and it won't activate receptor function. This is one of the characteristics of hormone systems. All hormones produce their effects by acting on receptors. It turns out that there's just a single receptor for the androgen, and if it's mutated, then that hormone, testosterone, can't function.
Testosterone is reduced by 5-alpha reductase in the cytoplasm to form dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. This aromatase used to modify the testosterone is found in the endoplasmic reticulum of many cells, including gonads, brain, and fat cells. In normal cells, the androgen receptor is a transcription factor within the cell that binds to DHT. The androgen receptor is a nuclear receptor, meaning that it is located in the cytoplasm, and once activated, it translocates into the nucleus and binds to DNA to transcribe genes that code for proteins involved in the androgenic effect. In genitalia, the androgen receptor is used to transcribe target genes involved in development.
It turns out that early in development, in fetal development, there's no difference between boys and girls. There's a genetic difference, and that genetic difference sets up a situation where sexual differentiation goes according to a male or female line. What happens is there's a gene called SRY that's expressed fairly early on that begins to organize the formation of the testis in a boy. Once the testis forms, two hormones are produced that's important to cause male sexual development. The first is testosterone. The second is the anti-Mullerian hormone, or AMH. When testosterone is produced, the first thing it does is begin to stimulate the growth of the Wolffian duct system that produces the vas deferens and different components of the male reproductive tubular system. But it also produces AMH, which causes the disintegration of the Mullerian duct system. Now, the Mullerian duct system is what forms the fallopian tubes, the uterus, and part of the vagina normally in a normal female. What happens is that testosterone is produced, but it doesn't work. And as a result, the Wolffian duct system doesn't develop, and it ultimately disintegrates. But at the same time, the testis does produce anti-Mullerian hormone, which causes the Mullerian duct system to disintegrate. So as the fetus grows, what happens is you don't get external genitalia of a boy, but you get that of a girl. So you have a vagina, vaginal opening, you have labia, but you don't have the distal part of the vagina, and you don't have a uterus or fallopian tubes. You do have testes, but they're not descended. So during puberty, testosterone levels rise, it's converted to estrogen, and then that estrogen causes normal pubertal changes in the girl, so breast development, etc. The first subjects that were identified as having androgen insensitivity syndrome were models that had a classic female phenotype, but they weren't menstruating even as adults, obviously, because they didn't have a uterus, etc.
Androgen insensitivity syndrome is very uncommon, but also very interesting to study when you look at sexual differentiation of humans and what could go wrong. As for treatment, a gonadectomy is suggested to reduce the risk of tumors, along with hormone replacement therapy. Aside from those things, individuals with AIS live completely normal lives.